everybody, welcome back to something new. I don't know how I'd welcome you back to something I've never done before. We're gonna try something a little different today. We're going to do a comic book graphic novel review. Now that I've started doing the Comic Bento monthly mystery subscription box, which you get like, 4 to 6 graphic novels in there every month, I'm getting to read a lot more interesting stuff. Well, I mean, this is my first box and my first book, but still very excited. So today we're gonna take a look at Valiant Comics Harbinger. Woo, look at that, you probably got a better picture. You guys are gonna have to bear with me in this one a little bit. It's first time, don't really know how to go about doing this, but it'll improve as we go along. So if you recall seeing the Comic Bento unboxing, this month was all Valiant books because it's the first time they've ever done a publisher theme. And at first, because it's my first box, I was a little disappointed in that. But now that I've had a chance to start reading this, not disappointed in it at all, which is something I did say in the unboxings that I'd probably really enjoy these. The one thing is they didn't really tell me what order to read them in, and I started reading the last one first, and I got a couple comics into it, and I really loved it, but that's when I realized, hey, you know what, let me go back and read these in the proper order. So I looked at the publication dates and figured out that I needed to start with Harbinger. So this is from 2013, and it collects issues of Harbinger 6 through 10, and it's very cool, because basically for this universe, what I've understood is you have the, I may be saying this wrong, Psiots, it's like P-S-I-O-T-S, and they're basically, that's what they're calling heroes, essentially, like people with latent powers, and it can all be triggered. And we have our main character, whose name is Peter Stanchek, and apparently he's like he's kind of an ex-junkie, and there was this backstory that's, they give you the story so far thing about like his best buddy in the mental ward and how the bad guy Harada killed him and all this stuff, and then Peter's been trying to, what's the word, not ignite, but basically open the powers of some of these other people. And he did this woman named Faith and all this stuff, but basically there's this girl, and oh god, now I'm totally blanking on her name because it's from her perspective. It's something Hathaway, Chris Hathaway. So apparently he had convinced her to fall in love with him and kind of took away her free will and that choice and everything, and it's really pissed her off. And one of the things I'm really liking about this universe is it's more realistic and it's gritty, and they have darker characters, but not like dark to be dark, it's just more of a realistic darkness that they have real problems, like, the one guy's a junkie and the way she's responding to all this. So basically she does this whole thing where she robs a bank and tries to trap Harada and like tries to get her parents safe. And you gotta read it. I don't want to give away the entire story, but it's pretty neat because basically she convinces Chris has Faith come get her. And Faith is like this bigger girl who can fly, and like she's an uber nerd, so she references everything in terms of like nerdy geeky things that we talk about on this channel. So that was the book I started reading, is when she goes solo later down the line. But that's what I was like, I need to go back and read some of this backstory because I really like that character, but now I'm liking everybody else. So it brings Chris over to meet Peter, and Peter wants her to kill him and like, and all this stuff. So instead she decides, hey, no, we're gonna fight. We're gonna fight this Harada guy, and they go about trying to track down other potential Psiots that Harada, the Institute, I can't remember the name of the Institute, but basically they, that they aren't even paying attention to, because they're going to put their own force together of people that don't really, they don't really care about, which is pretty smart. So the first issue is just pretty much all about Chris and her family and setting all of this stuff up, and it's really interesting. There's like tinfoil hat, like legitimate tinfoil hat stuff to keep people out of your mind. And there's also this PRS, which is like a whole other group that are hunting down these people and trying to destroy them and capture them. Although they may all be in cahoots, it's left a little mysterious as we go along. Again, I'm going to try not to spoil too much, but it's really cute. That's kind of the setup. The second issue is pretty neat because that's where we start getting a little bit more of the backstory, and we meet this stripper named Flamingo, and she has her powers brought to life in a very, very cool way, and I really like the ending. She's got a very abusive boyfriend, and ooh, yeah, karma is a bitch. And so Flamingo can be as well. But actually, not really. I mean, rightfully so in that situation. But for the most part, it's pretty cool watching her have her powers unleashed. The next issue in number 8, they go and they basically unlock this other guy named Torkel, or well, they call him Torque. And the whole thing is like, it's like this weird dream sequence where he's talking about being in Torkhala, where it's all like just battling badass dudes and banging chicks kind of thing, But it turns out there's a really cool reveal that you know, and yeah, I'm hesitant because I don't want to like tell you the whole story. But basically, he's this scrawny little crippled kid. Like, is that's an okay word, right? I mean, he's handicapped. Basically, he can't walk. He's paralyzed and stuff, and he hates life because he has no family except his brother, and his brother thinks touching him is gross and all this stuff. So he's made up this fantasy world, and then basically he gets to be that fantasy in real life, and that's pretty cool. And so then basically they all get kind of captured. Well, not captured, but they get fought, you know, like the PRS shows up right after they've unleashed Torque, and, you know, they just like bombard the whole fucking place and just kill everybody indiscriminately, or they try to. And, you know, Peter and Chris have a plan. They mentally tell everybody, split up and we'll regroup and come back and attack. And of course, it's one of those things where it's like, well, Peter gets everybody to split up, but then he goes on the attack, and Chris is like, you idiot, this is not the plan. And of course, that gets everybody captured, except Faith, because the PRS didn't think Faith was still with them. She didn't get seen. So of course, then she mounts a really cool rescue, and we get more of her backstory in the last issue of how Peter turned her and everything. And it's a really, really fun time. There's like this whole thing going on, this mystery about this monk character that's been missing, and this Harada guy is really old in public, but, you know, really young and powerful in real life, and it's all about, you know, invading people's minds and, you know, what is real, what isn't, and, you know, just gorgeous artwork and just a lot of fun. And I'm really excited to continue reading this. The next book will be Harbinger Wars. I don't know that it's a direct continuation of this, but, you know, I know they plan to put this box together with these 4 books that kind of told you a larger story, but I definitely want to go check out more of what they're doing and what they're talking about in here, and I'm very much looking forward to it. And I like that I'm reading comics again, and I like that I've already found something awesome. So yay, very, very cool stuff. Very, very happy to continue reading it. I already love Faith. I love Flamingo. Torque is pretty awesome. Chris is really growing on me. I don't like Peter, but in that way that I do like Peter, because it's like, oh, god damn it, dude. Like, just, you know, get your shit together, man. The villain is really intriguing and scary and frightening, you know, like his ruthlessness, so I appreciate that quite a bit. Wasn't a lot of his sidekick stuff and what they're all doing. Harbingers is kind of their word for heroes or whatever, because, you know, they're trying to only tap certain people that might not be too dangerous, the bad guys, so they can control them and all that stuff. So, you know, it's kind of neat to see them pull together. One of the things I love about Faith, too, is there was a line where she was telling her backstory, and she referenced the time periods by what geeky movie came out. So, like, there was this 10 years, and then 10 years later, you know, from Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers to The Avengers, you know, things like that. I thought that's really neat. And her backstory is kind of sad because she's just so positive, you know, and she goes by the name Zephyr, which is pretty cool. Oh, but yeah, oh, there's some sad stuff in here, and there's some stuff in here I'm like, oh my god, like I'm freaking out, like reading the book. And this is something already I'm like, okay, you know, everybody likes to make comics into TV shows and movies and stuff, like I want to see this universe, AMC, like do what you're doing with like Preacher and stuff. I want to see this universe come to life, although I wouldn't mind directing this universe if I would. Obviously, I'm not at a level of where anybody would trust me with that much money and responsibility yet, but this, as a filmmaker, this is something like I'm drooling over, like, oh my god, I would have so much fun making this. And it's a different and interesting take on a superhero universe, and I think that's what Valiant is trying to be about, and I really, really like that. So, highly recommended. If you like that kind of stuff, I don't know, I mean, check it out. It's you know, it's a graphic novel. You can probably get it for like, what, 10 bucks? 15 bucks? So, you know, maybe cheaper now because this is an older one from 2013. So, I'll tell you what, I'll put a link. There's probably an Amazon link down in the description. So if you want to read this and check this out, click that link. You'll get it for the same price you would anyways, and I get a kickback like a finder's fee thing. So, awesome, win-win for everybody. But yep, check it out. Check out Valiant Comics. If anything I said sounded good, awesome. Don't spoil anything for me if you're more familiar, please, because I do like the surprise. We'll talk about it when I get to it, because I'm definitely going to be reading at least the rest of what's in the Comic Bento box, and hopefully getting some more of this stuff in the future. Yeah, sweet guys. All right, well, cool. Other than that, though, comment away. Let me know what you think. Have you been a fan? Are you a new fan? Are you going to check it out? Have I sold you? I don't know. Let me know. Let's hear it down in the comments. Thumbs up of encouragement is always encouraging. Subscribe if you're new here. We do all kinds of fun, nerdy, geeky stuff every single day on the TheEricButts channel. And, of course, share with your friends, because if you're cool, they're cool, and we all need to know about Valiant Comics, because it is sweet stuff. Other than that, we got the link to Patreon down there, so you can get bonus videos and everything, and see more about what I'm talking about. And, you know, we'll have a good time doing it. So, all right, guys, I'm going to get out of here, and I'll see you guys later.